less than 24 hours, and I gotta say, I love it. I did not think I would like it as much as I do. I didn't know exactly what to expect. I thought it would be busier, dirtier, because it's a city. So most cities I've seen sometimes get a little dirty, sometimes it's a little overcrowded, but where we are in this particular area in London, it's really nice. It's not overly crowded. I can cross the street and, well, you gotta be careful. You have to make sure you look right, left, and then right again because people are coming from this way. So those of you who are used to driving on the right side of the road, you usually look left, right, and then left, and then you cross the street. You do that here, you can get hit. So be careful. Always look right before you cross over the street. But there are so many restaurants and stores, and one thing I thought was fun, there was like things to do. For example, cooking classes. For 15 pounds, you could have a cooking class and have dinner. I was thinking it was a perfect date if you wanted to go do something other than watch a movie where you can't talk to the person trying to get to know. Cooking class. So that's just what, and I saw like 3 of them within a very short distance. And there's the tube and there's buses everywhere, but we like walking so we could see everything. Tomorrow we'll take a longer trip and see what's around. We just wanted to get comfortable, get to know our neighborhood, and I'm loving it. And I do like the great diversity here. People are pretty friendly. No one's like knocking you over, or the waitresses were very nice. We went to Tesco Express. Tesco, I guess, is the main shopping place here, but this is a smaller version for the neighborhood. And the lady helped check us out because it was a self-checkout place, and she probably assumed we were not from the area, being the 4 of us traveling like a herd. So she just immediately came up to us and helped us check out. So, but the self-checkout is very similar to those back in the United States. I probably could have figured it out if I had to, but that was very nice. But I want to go back and tell you about our trip from Donegal to Dublin, and then Dublin to London. But from Donegal to Dublin, it was a smaller plane, smallest plane I've been in. And they were so nice though, because Donegal is out in the country, so the plane wasn't even a quarter filled, maybe a quarter, third filled. And you have to have your bag in front of you. You can't have it in a different aisle. And since it's so small, our bags would not fit in the bin, just like the economy plane we took from Cleveland to JFK in New York. So, but we didn't want to put it underneath the plane because then it'd end up in the carousel and we'd have to go look for it. Stewardess was very nice, and she said just because you could literally only fit 1 bag for each 2 seats. And there's 4 of us with a total of 8 bags, 2 bags each, 1 personal, 1 regular carry-on. So we each sat in a spot with 2 seats, so we could put our bags underneath. Were you able to get your camera bag up on top? Rick's camera bag, for some reason, fits in the tiniest of spots, in the tiniest of all economy planes. I don't know why, because it doesn't measure any smaller than some of our other bags. Maybe because it's just a little more flat, a little more compact, but it's like perfect. So we were very comfortable with that flight. It was very short. It was like, I don't know, 50 minutes to fly from the Western Ireland to Dublin. And then the problem was we were late leaving Donegal, and I hope it wasn't our fault because everybody was sitting in the waiting area and they were filling the jet fuel, and so I went to the restroom, and then when I came out everybody was gone. They were like on the plane already. I was like, I was gone for like a minute. They were quick, and I was like, oh my god. So thankfully it wasn't just me. There was another woman in front of me who was just getting on board. They just got on board, so I don't think they were waiting for more than a few seconds. But I got on board, and we finally took off, and it was just a small little plane with propellers and everything. We arrived like an hour and some minutes late. So when we landed in Dublin, the connecting flights area was closed. I guess it closed after 4 or 5 o'clock, so we had to go all the way through the airport, do the security check again, and then we had to run. I mean, it was like across the airport. We just got there just in time. They were loading the plane from Dublin to London. It was a big Airbus, and the problem is there must have been like almost 300 people on that plane. It took an hour to load people, but so inefficient. If we didn't have that problem with American Airlines, Aer Lingus from Dublin to London, I don't know what they were thinking, trying to shove people into the airplane for like aisles 1 through 4, and then they do 5 through, you know, a little bit at a time. But they were calling 1 through 4, then 5 through 10, and they were just like, people didn't have time to get on the plane, and they're like, move out of the way, move out of the way. Like, where are you supposed to go? You gotta put your luggage up there. They're like, go down to the end. And you're like, your seat's number... Oh, we got seat row 1. I don't know how that happened, but we got checked in back in Donegal. They gave tickets for Donegal to Dublin and Dublin to London, and I didn't realize they put us in the first row. So, anyways, we were thrown into the plane. They're like, go all the way down. I'm like, my seat's right here. She goes, put your luggage like at the end. I'm like, why would I do that? And not only that, Rick has to lift my bag for me because I have a bad back and I can't lift the bag. I'm like, well, I can't go anywhere. And they're trying to shove the people behind me in, and everybody else in front of me, like 100 people, 200 people, are still standing up. And everyone's bumping into each other because they're pushing people. It's so much more efficient, and it goes by so much faster if they just let 4 rows at a time go in, put your stuff, let them sit, move on to the next, and so forth. But they were just trying to get everybody like, get out of the way, you're slowing down. And I'm like, how am I slowing down anybody? Because the people in front of me still have to put their luggage, and I can't do anything. I'm not going to knock them down. This is not American football where you knock people over. Trying to be civil here. So I was not happy with that, and the way and the manner they were treating people, just, you know, shoving them. And this one poor guy that was sitting next to Noah had to sit by himself, so I felt bad for him, but he's okay. But the poor young man, he must have been 19 years old. He was really tall. Noah's like 6 foot, 6'1". This gentleman was probably 6'7", just a tall kid, and long legs, and he was in row 1 with Noah, and he was supposed to sit in the back somewhere, but he couldn't fit into the seat because his legs were so long, so I guess they moved him up to row 1 where there's a little more room, and the poor guy had to put his feet into the aisle to fit, and she's like, you got plenty of room. So he's sitting there with his knees up like this and trying to fit, and every once in a while he'd have to stretch his leg out, and she's like, you know, not happy with it. But what was he supposed to do? Then they tell us before we took off that we couldn't put our carry-on because we don't have a space to put underneath, that we had to put it up in the bin, including my coat. I get cold. It gets really cold up there sometimes, and I wanted my coat. They're like, well, you have to wear it, but I didn't want to put it right there and then because I was like sweating at the moment because they were rushing us. So thankfully Willow was right behind me. Again, I don't know why they put her separate from us, but I was able to put my coat under her until I was ready. You know, we took off and I was able to put it on. There was like no spaces up in the bins, and they wanted us to put my coat like an aisle 40 or whatever row that was way back there. Like, that's ridiculous. Thankfully we thought to put it under Willow's seat. Not to mention I had my passports on me and everything, so I wasn't going to just give away my coat. I had stuff in it that I needed and I wanted to keep warm. So that was my story with that. Then we just got out of the airport, and again, just like when we landed in Dublin, they have this nice little area where there's taxis, so you don't have to shove and push people over to grab a taxi. You go in queue, you get in a row there to get your taxi. There's someone there to find the right taxi for you, and we met this great taxi cab driver, and he'll be the same one picking us up when it's time to leave London. So that was really nice. He gave us his phone number and everything, so I don't have to worry about trying to catch a cab back to the airport. Of course, taking the tube or the bus would have been much cheaper to get to our Airbnb, but with 4 people, 8 bags, thoroughly exhausted, it's worth whatever they want to charge to get me 11 miles away from the airport, which was approximately, with the US dollars, with tip, $104. So I know that sounds like a lot of money, but keep in mind it's 4 people, 8 bags, no stress, jumping in the van with air conditioning, even though it was cool outside, but the van got hot inside, so we had the air running. And he dropped us right off at the front door. Otherwise, I don't know, it would have been at least a couple of blocks away at night. We would have had to walk down at least 2-3 blocks, not knowing where we were at night with 8 bags. I didn't think that was safe for us to do that, number one. Number two, we were just too darn tired to do something like that. And 3, I didn't want to get lost with our children. So definitely that was the best option for us. I think it was worth the money. And of course, if you're single or just 2 people, you can do whatever you want. But when you got kids with you and a lot more bags, it's kind of difficult, and you have to plan it out and try to be careful as well. So we arrived to our front door, and I was like, oh great, there's a pizza place right here. Not that pizza was my first choice, but it was right there. And I'm like, all right, we'll put our bags away, we'll come downstairs and order pizza and just bring it up. And unfortunately, everything on the street closes at 11 o'clock. And it was like 11 o'clock, and they're like, we're sorry, they're putting the seats away. I'm like, no, we're so hungry. And there's like no food. We don't know where anything is. So we just walked, and I asked like 3 different restaurants. They were like, no, we're closed. And they were like putting the seats away. And I was like, oh no, I got my hungry kids. I'm hungry. We're thirsty. And thankfully we found this Lebanese restaurant. Oh, and it was so good. They had lamb, what is it called, Will?
Shawarma.
Lamb shawarma. They had lamb shawarma, so we got 4 of those, some fries. I guess they call them chips here. I said chips. I wasn't sure what I was going to get. If I was going to get a bag of chips or french fries or what exactly, but I didn't care. I just wanted some food. I even got water and Coke, which we never drink. But I said, let's get some Coke too. I had some food, and we brought it home, ate it. We woke up this morning and we were hungry because we didn't have time to go to the store. So after we got up and dressed, we said we gotta find Tesco or Tesco Express, and so that's where we went. And the rest is history. We have our food, you know, snacks, cereals, and all that. But now we've scoped out the place, so we know where we're gonna go tomorrow. We're gonna go see some sights, take some pictures. But that's the scoop for day 1 in London. But yeah, we really like it. So if you ever get a chance, you must come. It is expensive, I will say. Of course, the word expensive is a relative term, but I would have to say compared to my daily life back in the States, in Ohio or Florida, I would have to say it's pretty expensive. So thumbs up for London. Love you, London. I would definitely come back to the city. I could probably even live here if I had the opportunity for a little while. So that's all I have for today. Just wanted to give you an update on what's what. We'll show you more tomorrow of what we see. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Please share. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to live a passionate life.